Hey world, it's been want to come back to another video. Family, this video here is going to be a segment of real news versus fake news, okay? And I hope, guys, that you don't get your perception of this world from television, from CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC. I hope you're not framing your perception of the world based on what you see on the television and the news. If you're not doing your adequate research, then you will basically be you'll fit into that category where they really want us to just follow along like sheep. Okay? If you've been in the garden for a while, fam, you know I've been talking about how, everything that's happening, whether it's political, whether it's economical, whether it's social, it's all manufactured and it's all predicated on different institutions to have certain people that have and certain people that have not. Now, this is the tricky part. You can't say, well, man, they're holding me down, when you have the opportunity, right, to change your particular financial situation by paying yourself first and actually having more of a cognitive mindset on Wall Street opposed to Main Street. What I mean by that? Family, Wall Street is stocks and bonds. Okay? That's real estate. Right? Main Street is 9-to-5 jobs. Hoping you get that pension. Hoping you work long enough to get Social Security. See the difference? And those that have real precedent in Wall Street stay rich. Their kids stay rich because it's a knowledge base that they have that they don't teach in school. Okay, that's Main Street. Go to school, graduate from high school so you can get a good job. Graduate from college so you can get a good job. What? I was just telling my kids the other day that, hey, get you a job at 16 years old. And you work from 10th grade or 9th grade all the way through high school. Save your money. Do a little research on particular companies, on actually how to invest. Family, there's a lot of information out there on how to actually get started investing. Okay? Today, I'm going to talk about one way you can get started that is passive, that is, secure, and you can pretty much have control of it. And I did a video about it a while ago, but it's actually just open up your brokerage account with one of these stock institutions like Fidelity, E-Trade, Charles Schwab. Robinhood is one that does free commissions. I'm not really and I'm not going to down Robinhood because they have a business model that's been in play for a while. And so you actually can benefit from Robinhood if you know the knowledge of investing. What I mean by that? Family, if you open up your account with Robinhood, right, don't you buy a stock that you have not done the research on. Well, what kind of research, Bean? Research as in, you can go to Yahoo Finance, type in a company, and it's going to give you information about that company. It gives you financial information. It gives you how the stock is performing, year to date, as well as in real time. And there are a couple of things, family, that you want to kind of look for when you start investing in stocks. You want to see if they, what their PE ratio is, which is price per earnings ratio, and the EPS, which is the earnings per share. Now, with the price per earnings ratio as the PE ratio, it just tells you how much actual money you're going to be paying per share of stock. And, generally speaking, a good PE ratio is between 10 to 12, 10 to 15. Anything that's 25, 35, 45, all of that is overvalued, right? And anything, of course, lower than that is undervalued, but you have to look at other things to see why is it so undervalued. But you don't want to deal with it if it's overvalued. Okay, so you have PE ratios, you have something called EPS, which is earnings per share, which gives you an indication of how much money per share the company earned every quarter. That really dictates, a lot of the company's share prices. So, every quarter, which is every 3 months, each company has to report their earnings. And if you can find out if you're a shareholder before the actual earnings report date, if the company is doing well, then you basically hedge on that and say, okay, if we met or we exceeded earnings, then of course, guess what? The share price is going to go up. It may be a good company to invest in, right? So you have that. You have whether or not the company pays dividends. And if they pay dividends, of course, you want to kind of look into that. And then, of course, family, how much money the company has. This information I'm just telling you about earnings per share and the PE ratio and whether or not they pay dividends, you can find that on any cover page of Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg's, Motley Fool. Man, it's a lot of different Zacks investments. It's a lot of different investment tools you can use to find out how a company is doing, whether or not they have a nice PE ratio, a nice EPS, earnings per share, whether or not they pay dividends, whether or not what the analysts say the target price is going to be. And the target price is basically what analysts say or anticipate the price to be at year's end. Okay? Like, for instance, I told you guys about Novavax. Who would have thought that Novavax would be over $100 a share, right? I told you guys about Novavax when Novavax was at $2.50, as well as Sorrento Therapeutics at $2.50, right? So those who, took that information to heart, and remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you took that information to heart, you're sitting on a nice piece of change right now if you're invested in Novavax when Being Willie told you about it, as well as Sorrento Therapeutics. All right. And of course, so that's the real news. Okay. What's the fake news? Fake news is the fact that they're not going to do anything to help you. You're going to have to take it upon yourself. Family, it's been a whole year. Billions of dollars have went to corporations and $1,200 have came to the citizens. And those billions of dollars of money that we pay in taxes. Okay. And remember, the Federal Reserve just prints money. So there's no excuse for them to say that, well, we don't have the money. Okay. All these businesses are closing. A lot of these people are unemployed. Family, think about this. And I don't know how you feel about the COVID vaccination, immunization. But it's going to be a situation where they're going to have a pretty much mandate for you to take it. Right? Now, they say that the students, younger people will be the last in line to get it. If younger people are the last in line to receive the vaccination, then why aren't they in school? Doesn't make sense. You dig? And so that's the fake news. Keeping the kids out of school, knowing that you guys are not going to even administer the kids vaccinations until the older people receive it. So that means the kids are less likely to be affected by COVID. Why they're not in school? Another point. You have professional football players, college football players, high school football players playing right now, but not middle school. Are you serious? They have not even thought about the mental, emotional, and psychological effect it's having on these students being at home. And all of this new content that kids are having to learn at home without a lot of assistance virtually. I mean, look at the national failure rate in the United States. It's ridiculous. I mean, in my district, the failure rate is pathetic. You dig? And I'm at school, and I love my kids, and I tell you right now, the parents that allowed their kids to come back to school, guess what? They've been back to school the whole time. Guess what? They have not been sick, and guess what? Have not got COVID. How'd that work? Just saying, okay? So like I said, fam, I just want to come back with a section of real news versus fake news, okay? Real news is you can take advantage of your own financial health. You also have to make sure that this information that they're giving us that we know intuitively that is ridiculous, don't let that take precedent. Okay? Pay yourself first. Do what's best for your kids, because they're not doing what's best for your kids, because, look at the businesses that are closed. Look at the students that are at home right now. The seniors right now. And the seniors from last year. And I would ask, how many seniors that graduated from school last year got COVID? And if they did, how well are they doing now? How many seniors getting COVID right now? How many kids are getting COVID? Are you serious? Okay? So, just want to come back with a little food for thought, family. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High Side bring you joy. And being with us out of 5,000.